and Gretel, adaptation of the Grimm Brothers fairy tale. Once upon a time, a boy and a girl named Hansel and Gretel lived with their father and stepmother near the forest. The father was a woodcutter, and what he managed to earn was not enough to maintain the family because the country was very poor and only a few people had money to buy wood. So there was almost nothing to eat at home. "We have to get rid of the children," Hansel and Gretel heard the stepmother say one night. "Let's abandon them in the forest. They will find where to sleep and what to eat." The father, of course, didn't want to, but the stepmother insisted so much that he finally agreed. While Gretel fell asleep crying, Hansel left the house, and in the moonlight, he picked up a lot of little white stones that he kept in his pocket. Early in the morning, all the family went to the forest, and without being seen, Hansel started dropping the little stones on the way. When they were far away, in an unknown place, and wouldn't know the way back anymore, the father said, "Stay here while we pick up some wood." Then nighttime came, and their parents hadn't come back. "Don't worry," Hansel told Gretel. "Tomorrow we'll find the way back." And so it was. Following the little stones that Hansel had dropped on the ground, they managed to find the way back home. The father was happy, but the stepmother wasn't. So some days later, when all of them went hungry again, the woman insisted on abandoning the children in the forest. And once again, Hansel and Gretel heard the conversation. That night, Hansel tried to go out to pick up small stones, but the stepmother had locked the door and hidden the key. Then the boy had another idea. The following day, when they were leaving for the forest, he took a piece of bread and started dropping little crumbs on the way. The same thing happened. The father and the stepmother said they had to pick up some wood and left the children alone in the forest. Feeling cold, Hansel and Gretel lit a fire and slept next to it all night. But the following morning, Hansel found out that little birds had eaten all the breadcrumbs. Without discouraging, they started to walk, looking for the way back. They were lost for 2 days when they found an enchanted little house. The roof was made of chocolate, the walls of cake, the windows of sugar, and the garden was full of delicious fruit and ice cream towers. Without thinking about it twice, and feeling very hungry, Hansel and Gretel started to eat all they saw. Suddenly, the door opened, and an old lady with a beautiful voice invited them in. "Come in, kids. There's more in the house." Hansel and Gretel went in, and ate so much that they soon felt sleepy. The old woman then took both children to soft and comfortable beds. Hansel and Gretel had no idea that the old lady was in fact a witch who trapped people in her delicious house in order to eat them. The following morning, she woke Hansel up, took him to the stable, and locked him in a cage.
"You'll stay there until you get chubbier,"
the witch shouted. Then the witch went to wake Gretel up.
"Get up, lazy bones,"
she told the girl.
"Go to the kitchen to cook for your brother. He's too thin, and I want him to be a little fatter so I can eat him."
Scared, Gretel did everything the witch told her to. Each day, Gretel cooked for her brother, while she only ate bread and drank water. And each day, the witch controlled if the boy got fatter, telling him to show one of his fingers. As he was smart and the witch a little blind, Hansel showed her a small chicken bone, which he had taken from his lunch.
"The boy isn't putting on any weight," the witch thought. "I think I'll start with his sister."
So one day, she told Gretel that they would bake some bread and asked her to get into the oven to check if it was hot enough. But in fact, what she wanted was to roast the girl. Gretel realized the wicked woman's intention and answered, "I don't know how to get into the oven. Could you show me?"
"Silly girl, you only need to do this,"
the witch said, getting into the oven. So Gretel closed the door and immediately the old lady turned into a smoke ball that vanished in the air. The girl quickly went to free her brother. While the candy house was falling down and turning into powder, they ran away, and not knowing how, they managed to get home. The father cried with happiness when he hugged them. Hansel and Gretel were very happy too, especially when he told them that the stepmother had left to live somewhere else in a very, very far away country.